recording. Perfect. There we are. Okay. So, are you 10xing your accountability? That's the big thing right now. Who can say yes to each of these items on this weekly checklist? Let's see who can place a 5 or an 8 after I finish in the chat. I'm going to see what the numbers are in the chat. Keep a tally and share at the end. Number 1, think about it. Remember, put your fingers up or make some tallies. Number 1, have you texted your coach your weight each day this week? Have you shared a food log? Have you had a weekly check-in with your coach by phone? Well, number 3, have you attended a weekly client support meeting? Well, here you are. You're already here. So make sure you put a finger up or give yourself a little tally mark. And if you have attended an additional one this week, give yourself an extra point. Number 4, have you listened to the Lifebook Audible or the not Life, but the Habits of Health Audible? And Starlet, people are entering the room, but for some reason they're not being admitted. So we have to keep admitting all. If you can help me with that, I keep seeing that they are entering, but they're not being admitted. Thank you for can you do that? Okay, perfect. Okay. Have you listened to the Habits of Health? Remember, get your phone, go to the Optavia app, and at the bottom, go to Learn and go to the Habits of Health. Have you been listening to that every day, 10 minutes a day? That's number 4. Number 5, have you texted your coach when you had obstacles that popped up? Have you shared wins or non-scale victories on the client support Facebook page? Have you shared your health journey with others? No dieting in the dark. So if anybody asks you how you're doing, tell them what you're doing so that they will know that there's help. And then finally, number 8, have you shared any struggles that you're having with your coach? So now put your number in the chat. How have you done this week with your 10x accountability? I'm really excited to see these numbers rolling in here. Excellent. Look at that. 9s, 8s, 5s, 6s. Excellent. 7s. And you know what? If you haven't this week, guess what? There's always next week. There's always today. Start today. Don't wait till next week. But this is huge, y'all. Look at these numbers. I love this. And, clients are seeing huge progress with this system. Did you know that following the 10x accountability will help you reap the results that statistics have confirmed? You're going to lose 10 times more weight. You're going to lose 17 times more fat. You're going to retain 98% more lean muscle mass. What is stopping you? This is your guideline. These are your guidelines for success. I love a checklist. So keep this checklist. If you don't have it, ask your coach for it. I don't know, Starlet, if you can find it to put it in, but if you can put it in the chat, I don't know. But if another coach can stick the 10x checklist in the chat just in case, I would love that. If you utilize all 4 components and they're all part of that checklist, you are going to be successful. This program works, and my coach told me the very first time I talked to her, this program works 100% of the time for 100% of people who follow it 100%. The only variable is you. That's it. And that to me was why I went, wow. Well, if the only variable is you, I've got to figure this thing out because it all depends on me whether I'm successful or not. So let's do this together, y'all. Um, I'm so happy y'all are here. Wow, there are 392 of you on a Friday morning. Thank you so much. I'm Donna Goulah, and I live in Leland, North Carolina. And y'all, I struggled with weight for 5.5 decades, really. I remember as a child, about 9 or 10 years old, I was the chubby child. I was the one, I still remember, y'all. And if you can put, connect it in the chat or something, I have a feeling there are lots of others that dealt with this from childhood. I can still remember my family at family dinners laughing at me at my plate because I had so much food on it. I can still hear the laughter and the giggles. I can still remember I wanted a pair of white go-go boots in the 1960s, but my legs were too big for white go-go boots. And my cousin, who was thin, got the white go-go boots. And I was so sad because I wanted them, but I couldn't wear them because big girls don't wear go-go boots. I also remember I had a great aunt, and and I remember that my cousin and I remember she was the thin one, I was the bigger one. And I remember my great aunt saying, Donna, when you get older, those boys are going to take you to get ice cream. They're going to take her dancing and doing nice things, but they're going to take you to get ice cream. And I remember that hurt my heart. That hurt my feelings. But then again, I thought, well, it might be fun to go get ice cream at the time, not even realizing, but still. Y'all, I have tried dieting and I always failed. For decades, I failed. I even used Dexatrim, y'all. Dexatrim. I don't know if y'all remember that. I guess I thought it was like an illegal drug because I can remember putting it in my cart and hiding it from my mom so she wouldn't know I was taking this Dexatrim to try to lose weight. And it made me so anxious, so nervous, miserable. But I took that Dexatrim, not even knowing how dangerous it was for me. I also tried Weight Watchers way too many times and Slim and Trim, and I had a weight loss management coach. Y'all, I wasn't consistent. I played the game. I read books. I bought so many books and I highlighted and I put sticky notes and I wrote in the front of them. I had gym memberships. They're only as good as they are if you they're only as helpful as they are if you use them. And I never was consistent, you know. And then I gained 10 pounds every decade. And then when I turned 60, I saw overweight on my patient portal, and I worried about the ramifications because I knew I was in trouble because my family had diabetes um, and cancer and heart disease in my family. And I knew I was in trouble, but I didn't know how to fix it. And then came COVID. And then was the death of my husband in April of 2020. And I went down a downward spiral, y'all. I used alcohol and food to numb, and I was a mess. I was in such a dark place. I thought my life was over until I discovered Optavia on August 5th. And I can honestly say that Optavia breathed life back into me. And I can also say that I've told people it was like a ladder that was put down to me. I was in such a dark place, but that ladder was there for me. And my coach and this community right here, this community held that ladder while I did the climbing. I had to do the work, but I climbed out of that space. I didn't do a diet. I did Optavia. I did all four components, similar to the 10X today, and I lost 40 pounds in 4 months. I started coaching 1 month after. Why wouldn't I? They said it was like the fifth component. Well, I'd already done the four, so the fifth was only the next step, right? So I chose to go for it. How could I not? This has turned my life around. This had already turned my life around in 1 month. How could I not help that next person who was curled up in a chair, drinking, numbing with alcohol nightly, thinking her life was over? And coaching was the real game changer. And I transitioned after reaching a dream. Then I transitioned because I'd only lost 13 pounds when I started coaching. But then I transitioned after reaching a dream goal, and I've remained there since. Does that mean for the past 5 years I've made no unhealthy choices? No. Does that mean I have to contend for my health every single day, and some days every single minute of every hour of the day? Yes, it does. This time of year is tough, y'all. Starlet's going to put a graphic that is so that when the first time I saw this graphic, I thought, holy cow, that was made just for me. Look at this. Right, connected in the chat if you feel like you're starting right here. Wow, we are starting at October. We've got to go through Halloween, Thanksgiving, Christmas, New Year's, Lord have mercy, are we ready? Are we ready for this? It's like running a marathon. Marathon runners, and I don't know, I can't even say because I'm not a marathon runner, but I have such admiration for marathon runners because they're so dedicated. They have such grit. They hold on to their why and they don't let anything stop them. Y'all, we have to have that same grit, that same determination to make it through this marathon ahead for us. We have to prepare for any obstacles along the way. We have to stay focused on our goals. We have to want this with every fiber of our being. At the so you're at the starting line. What is your goal? Where do you want to be on January 1st? So we can't toss aside these next 91 days. There are 91 days or maybe 90 at this point. We cannot toss aside these 91 days. Remember, we have 4 holidays ahead: Halloween, Thanksgiving, Christmas, New Year's. 4 holidays, not months, not months. Okay. So, why didn't I understand that, y'all? This time of year has always been a challenge for me. I'm a sugar addict. Lord have mercy, that Halloween candy, those pumpkins, those mellow cream pumpkins, and that candy corn, that was just like, crack to me. I mean, that was my um, kryptonite. I mean, I love that
So
stuff. I
smart.
used to eat it by the bags, and I did say bags, not those little snack size bags. I mean, the big bags, 2 of them a day. I've done that, and then been grossed out by thinking about all that crud going down to my stomachs and what I had done to my poor digestive system, making it handle all of that stuff. So, y'all, I even would buy candy at the beginning of October for trick or treaters. And then I got to go trick or treating in that candy bag the whole month of October. I was the trick or treater. And then by the time Halloween came, guess what? I was out buying more candy because I'd already consumed all of the other. I also, bought little, Halloween seasonal candy for my classroom. I was a teacher, so I bought that. And guess what? I ate that too, and I'd have to get more. And the little children would sometimes say, "Do you have any more snacks for us?" And I would say, "No, we've already eaten it." I ate it, y'all. I ate it. And then let's not even talk about the after season sales. Oh my gosh, 50% off. And I was there loading my cart because you know what? I wasn't going to get those pumpkins again for another year. That is horrible, y'all. And then came Thanksgiving, food again. And I loved all the fixings, the stuffing, the gravy, the potatoes, the mac and cheese, all the stuff, and the pies and cakes and pumpkin rolls and all that stuff. A lot of my people don't, my family members didn't even like that stuff. It was me. I would buy it for me. And then there was Christmas, y'all, cookie swaps. I loved a cookie swap because, I would get in there and eat half of them while I was preparing them. And then I had all these gatherings and parties and things, wine and alcohol. I loved some festivities. Until Optavia, y'all, I thought I couldn't even wrap Christmas gifts unless I was drinking a glass of wine. I really didn't because I drink wine every year when I wrap Christmas gifts. Ridiculous. But I learned when I was with my first year with Optavia in 2020, I learned I could um, wrap Christmas gifts with a beautiful wine glass, and I put seltzer in it, and I put just a little bit of little piece of lime, and it was beautiful. Sometimes I even took those little, I think, Mayo drops and put some to make it a little colorful. But I love that, and I wrap my gifts, and they look beautiful under the tree. So you can do that without wine. And then there's New Year's with all the festivities with that too. So y'all, I gained about 10 pounds from October 1st through New Year's every single year, and then I'd have to try to get it off in January. That was before Optavia. Dr. A reminds us that the goal of Optavia is to handle external circumstances with internal equilibrium. Y'all, that's called empowerment in my book. That is empowerment when you can go through a season and not do it, um, and not have these things. Recently on a call, someone shared the acronym for FAIL, FAIL. First, attempt in learning. First attempt in learning. Okay, guys, I'm telling you, ladies and men, on this screen, I have a feeling each of us has failed enough times on the holidays to know what we need to do. So this is not our first attempt. Remember, you can have whatever you want. So don't tell people you can't have something. But what do you want the most? Okay. You really want a healthy BMI. You want to be confident in your clothes. You want energy. You want to be the best version of yourself. So, how are we going to do that? Well, Halloween, don't buy the candy. Don't buy it early. Wait until the day of and buy your candy. And then when you're getting close to the end of the night, when that few little trick-or-treaters come, dump the rest of that candy in their bucket, say happy Halloween, turn your lights off, done. It's out of your house. Thanksgiving, all the stuff goes home, or like Lori Redding says, put it in your trash can and put dish soap on it to get rid of it. Um, Christmas, you can make it through Christmas, y'all. But remember, if you do make some off plan choices, keep them special. And if you do, it's just 1 or 2 days. You don't do the whole month of December and toss it to the wind. You don't do that. Um, I love this little saying, and someone said this. I love this. I have learned to love the sound of my feet walking away from things that don't serve me well. Y'all, I say that all the time. And one of my new coaches said that to me the other day. She said she was in a store and she wanted some pumpkin spice almonds, I think in Aldi's. And she was like, she wanted them so badly. And she said she thought about that saying. So she said, I went through and I was like, I have learned to love the sound of my feet walking away from things that don't serve me well. So she was giggling in the store and someone asked her about it. So y'all, we can do that. Just listen, just stop. When you get ready, instead of picking that thing up off the shelf, say that to yourself and listen to your feet walking on that floor as you walk past those things. It's so empowering. Um, Thanksgiving, take a healthy dish. You can do that. You can have turkey. You can have veggies. Well, you can have anything you want, but you can choose wisely with these things: turkey, string beans, veggies, salad. Um, the desserts, you've had them before, so you can do without them when you're in weight loss. Okay. If you choose, if you have a grandmother and you want to have her pie or her cake, there's a 3 bite rule. The first bite to taste, the second to savor, the third, see you later. So these are just little things that you can do. But remember this, and I think this is something that really makes me think. What will be the lifespan of that choice if you eat that pie or cake? What will be the lifespan? How long are you going to feel good about that choice? How are you going to feel after you finish that last bite? How long is that satisfaction going to last? So you might want to just think about that and bookend with your coach before these little get-togethers or gatherings. Tell your coach that you're concerned. Remember, that's part of the 10X. Share some obstacles. Tell them you want to make it through. Tell them you want to stay true to your goals. And then let your coach come up with a plan and then bookend. Plan. During it, you're going to be thinking about it. And then at the end, call your coach and let them know how you did or text them. Okay. So you're going to be successful this holiday season. Christmas, same thing. Everything you can be successful, but the 10X is going to be key, y'all. We started with that at the beginning of this call. 10X accountability is going to help you train for the months ahead. Get your consistency now. Okay. So, and here it is. Thank you, Starlet, for putting that up. This is your checklist. So 10X it. Send your weight daily, set your goals, have your weekly, and go ahead and plan them now. Plan these. And you might even say to your coach, I'm so nervous about these months. I might need to talk to you twice. I love talking to people on Monday and Friday because Mondays you can share your wins. Friday you can prepare for whatever's ahead for the weekend. But this is your list for success. Okay. Share your weight with a date with your coach. Go ahead and claim it. By Halloween, I want to be this date, this weight. By Thanksgiving, I want to be this weight. By Christmas, by New Year's, these are my dates with a weight. I'm not going to push it all aside and wait till January. I want to strategically plan all along. Just like when you're training for a marathon, you say, I'm going to walk, I'm going to run this many miles and then this many miles and this many miles and build up. You're building up right now. Okay. And stay in your lane. Stay in your lane. Just if you see people on that client support page who've lost 110 pounds in 1 week, stay in your lane. Don't even worry about them. Be happy for them, but you just pay attention to your journey and think about wins that you experienced that you did better than the day before or the hour before. Okay? So stay in your lane. Engage in these calls, y'all. Take notes. Any of these things, put sticky notes all over the house if you have to, if you hear anything that resonates with you. Like I love one of the calls said, don't sabotage what you want most for what you want in the moment. Are you going to give up what you want the most? Don't do it. I love a quote that Carrie Thayer shared recently. She said, excuses look valid in the moment, but they look flimsy in the rearview mirror. So think about that. That's one of those that I wrote down during a call. Okay. Starlet's going to share a video that was shared on one of our calls this week, and I absolutely love it. And then we'll wrap up and have questions afterwards.
Give me 1 second. It's coming.
And if you can't, that's fine. Perfect. Oops. Doesn't have an audio. We're not hearing.
Charlotte, you might have to unmute yourself.
Can you start? Yeah, maybe start it over.
There's a button that says share computer audio on the
When you select share, there's a checkbox for it. So you'll have to stop your share and then restart the share.
Charlotte, can you do that? I can't do it. Yeah. You're my
So
one.
when you go to share, look for the checkbox, as the other lady was saying, share audio.
Okay, give me 1 moment.
You're doing great.
Share
It's all
sounds.
we're all on a learning curve, and I'm so thankful that she's here because I would be like pulling my clothes off right now, sweating it all out. Yeah.
Delete the shopping apps,
Give me a
freeze your
thumbs up.
card. Everything goes on a 72-hour list in your Notes app. If it can't survive 72 hours, it can survive without your money. You want to get some work done, some focus work done? Calendar block it like it's a court date. Make it non-negotiable. Turn your notifications off, 50 minutes of work, 10 minutes of break, close the door. People who love you can surely wait an hour. And those friends, please mute the Let's Be Bad group chat. Tell them I'll be back in a month. I'm building discipline. Stop negotiating with the weakest version of you. Stop being shocked by outcomes that you designed. Lower the friction for the right behaviors. Raise the friction for the wrong behaviors. Decide your goal, then make your environment agree, especially when you don't feel like it. Systems beat moods every day. Hope that helps. Decide the goal, then make your environment agree, or stop pretending you want it. Let's stop lying. You are not stuck. You're undecided. You want to work out in the morning? Set the scene tonight. Clothes laid out, shoes by the door, your pre-workout on your nightstand, your phone's across the room with an alarm that says, get up, future you is watching. If it's not staged before bed, you didn't decide. You want to lose fat? Clear the pantry. Stop hosting Oreos. Prep your protein. It should be eye level in the fridge. Fill your water bottle. Delete DoorDash and Uber Eats off of your phone. If it's in the house, you know it's in your body. So don't buy it if you don't want to wear it. You have money goals? You have savings goals? Unsubscribe from all those sales emails. Delete the shopping apps. Freeze your card. Everything goes on a 72-hour list in your Notes app. If it can't survive 72 hours, it can survive without your money. You want to get some work done, some focus work done? Calendar block it like it's a court date. Make it non-negotiable. Turn your notifications off, 50 minutes of work, 10 minutes of break, close the door. People who love you can surely wait an hour. And those friends, please mute the Let's Be Bad group chat. Tell them I'll be back in a month. I'm building discipline. Stop negotiating with the weakest version of you. Stop being shocked by outcomes that you designed. Lower the friction for the right behaviors. Raise the friction for the wrong behaviors. Decide your goal, then make your environment agree, especially when you don't feel like it. Systems beat moods every day. Hope that helps.
I love that, y'all. I
Oh, I'm
love
sorry.
so get the food out of the house, I mean, just, and Starlet, if you can put that in the chat, the little link for that, that's wonderful. So y'all listen to it,
right.
put it on repeat, listen to it every day if you need to before, as we go through this. But I love what she said. Decide when you go to bed that night, put your exercise clothes out, put your fuelings on that counter. Put your journal there. Get ready so that when your head is on that pillow, you're ready for a great day. So systems beat moods every time. Stop negotiating for the weakest version of you. I love that. Okay, y'all. So I'd love to hear from you. What are your concerns as you start the race to New Year's? We welcome questions and ideas from clients. Coaches, we have our coffee with coaches tomorrow morning at 10 o'clock. You can share your concerns there, but we are really interested in clients